Welcome back, everyone. Today marks the 23rd anniversary of 9/11, a tragic moment in our nation's history when thousands of lives were lost.
And something we can all do each year as this day comes and goes is take that time to remember. Motivational speaker and author Ganel-Lyn Condie sitting down with us to talk about the importance of remembering. At the beginning of the show, we were just sharing our thoughts on September 11th and where we all were. And Ganel-Lyn, it's all so different for each of us.
And I think especially with this idea that I think we talk a lot about, how does healing look? Sometimes we get the misconception that moving forward in healing means we stop remembering. And I don't think that's true. I think today is an opportunity where we're going to see triggers and reminders. And how do we take those triggers and use remembering in a healthy mental health way? And September is Suicide Prevention Month. And so whether we're talking about grief from this tragedy or any other loss in our lives, how can we reframe remembering in a way that is actually facilitating our healing?
And Ganel-Lyn, you mentioned about looking kind of the broader picture as a collective whole. How did we feel? Remembering the moment and then saying, how did that journey happen?
Right.
How did we come through in the last 23 years?
Right. 23 years later, I think we were just talking off camera. Are we more divided or united? I think one of the things of a tragedy is it can bring a community together. And I'm aching for that. I'm aching for less us against them. And so is there a way in which we can remember how we felt in the wake of that tragedy? But what did we do differently when we saw a neighbor, or we were at the grocery store, or how we treated people that politically felt different than us, that all of a sudden that didn't matter? That to me is where we need to head towards, and not forget that that was a painful, hard day, but we learned some lessons.
I think it's interesting that you say this isn't just about nostalgia. This isn't just about grief. You say remembering teaches us valuable lessons.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, I think when we talk to our children and we have some time where we're in a road car trip and we're having those memories, or a Sunday dinner, and you have that opportunity to say, hey, this is a sad day, and maybe there was a headline, they didn't even live through it. My son was old enough. I remember exactly where we were at. I know exactly what he was playing with. So when we take time to remember, it also builds a resiliency muscle. Where were there times where we went through some hard stuff and we made it? Where were we as a family and how we survived that? Then we pull from that in the future when we're called upon to do a harder thing again in the future.
And what struck me when you were talking is just how softer we are.
Yes.
You know, and when you talk about divisiveness and people not feeling really great about what they watched during the debate, and then we look back and seeing where we were, we hugged each other. We're so grateful that we were here on this planet when that happened. And to know and feel that again is really healing, to be honest.
Grief, for me, spotlights what I really care about. And so I think if you have conversations today or tonight with your kids that maybe weren't alive, but they are hearing about coverage for today, or you're having a conversation because grandpa has just passed, I think grief sometimes feels so uncomfortable, but it shows what we value. And so I think it's really great when we can tell stories. So I have two sisters that passed, and sometimes we only tell the story of the loss and the grief, and we stop telling the stories of all the other things, you know, and all the things that we remember that were great. And so I kind of love today because it is always a chance I can call my son and say, do you remember that day? And he tells me over the years what he remembers and how he's incorporated that into his life. That's valuable.
Do you want to wrap up with that quote that you brought for us? So
a couple of years ago, our family were able to go to the 9/11 Monument and Memorial Museum. And there's this beautiful quote in New York City that says, no day shall erase you from the memory of time. And I think as we talk about how things have changed and we keep memories alive of people that we've lost, whether it's 9/11 or through other tragedies, there's value in that. And I think I love when someone loses someone and I say, tell me your favorite story about them. And I think we can do that today. We can talk about the favorite stories of 23 years ago and what do we need to remember so we can be better as a country going forward.
And thank goodness we have those memories.
Yes. We needed that conversation today. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for letting me have
a link to everything Ganel-Lyn is on our website, so please go and find her latest book, which I came to the book signing and I'm so proud of you.
For your support.
Ganel-Lyn.com.